Dear learners, good evening to all the learners from the different regional centers. Today onwards, we are going to conduct the DAQ2 academic counseling sessions. It will go up to the 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and after that DAQ3 we are going to conduct the sessions. Now we are having the Mr. Madhu as a academic counselor who is going to take the sessions for these 3 days. I thank Mr. Madhu for accepting our invitation and agreed to take the sessions through online for the deep diploma in aquaculture students. I request Mr. Madhu, please go ahead with your classes.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Today I will continue the section. Good evening, everyone.
I request all the learners, please on your videos. I will take one photo, screenshot of all the students. Yashwant, Mudasir, Wasi Khan. Hello? Students on your video. Yeah, thank you. Please go ahead with the class.
Yes, sir. Okay. Am I audible to you, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. Okay. These sections are as for revision sections. Actually, if you're going to discuss freshwater aquaculture, means it takes a huge number of classes. Actually, the material is provided to you. Once go through it. If you already go through it, is well and good. If not, I will discuss the key points of the entire subject of freshwater aquaculture. Okay. Let us start with some introduction. What is meant by freshwater aquaculture? The title you are studying DAQ 2 is that academic paper is nothing but freshwater aquaculture. What is mean by freshwater? How can you define that whether it is a salt water or freshwater? Let us say any one of the answer. How would you say whether it is a freshwater or salt water? Are you related to a aquaculture? You guys, Ashwant and Wasi Khan. Hello, guys. Are you hearing my voice?
Hello, sir.
Can you define what is freshwater aquaculture?
Sir, freshwater aquaculture can be defined as in which we culture organism in a freshwater which has a very low salinity or 0.01 to 0.1 ppt salinity.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, sir.
But I will say
yes, sir. Sir, but this is not my course. My course is coastal aquaculture, so
okay.
I deliberately joined today's class. Sorry for it.
Okay. It's okay, but coastal agriculture is also having some about salinity. We can also define it, or we can say that coastal water. So the freshwater means where there is a salinity zero, then we have to define it as a freshwater simply. If there is a zero salinity, that means salt percentage should be in a zero or nil. Then it is defined as a freshwater. Then what is mean by aquaculture? Means the rearing of aquatic organisms in a water is called as a aquaculture. Now let us group it into two: the freshwater and aquaculture. Here the definition is when we are rearing a aquatic organisms in a freshwater is called as a freshwater aquaculture. It is a simple form. Means in freshwater there are so many of aquatic organisms are there. Mostly those who are suitable for culture. The mostly we are going to use IMC crops. That means Indian major crops, which are in three different types of species are there, which are Katla Katla, Legurohota, and Serenus Megala. These three are native to our India. That's why we are saying that it is a Indian major crops. Here, the Indian major crops are having three types, which are I have already said, Katla, Legu, and Mrigala, which are commonly called as a common names with this. Katla Katla as a Katla, and Legu Rohta as a Rohu, and Serenus Mrigala as a Mrigala. These three are common names for the three species. For each and every species, there are having different types of features to identify the which is Katla, which is Rohu, and which is Mrigala. We define with simple points, with key points which are nothing but actually the Katla Katla is going to be appear in a grayish color on the dorsal side, and the ventral side should be in a whitish or silvery in color. This is the special color identification for the Katla Katla. And the abdomen, that means the belly part of the Katla Katla is rounded in shape. And mostly the Katla species are having which is a mouth, lower lip and upper lip will be there, and that only lower lip is thick, and it is fringe like movement, and only lower lip is going to be movable. The jaw, upper jaw and lower jaw will be surrounded by the lips, which are exterior to the outer surface. So in that, lower lip is only movable, upper lip is not going to be movable. That means when the jaw is going to be crush the food materials, only lower jaw is only going to be movable. So this is the one type of character. And the fins, which are going to be seen as this pure paid and pure unpaid. Actually, in fishes, there are different types of fins will be there. Those are nothing but dorsal fin, pectoral fin, pelvic fin, anal fin, and caudal fin. In these two types of fins are paired fins. Pelvic fins and pectoral fins are called as paired fins, and unpaired fins are dorsal, anal, and caudal fin. We can also call caudal fin as a tail fin also, okay, which is present at end of the body. So we can also say it as a tail fin also. So most of all these fins which are present in Katla are in a darkish color, dark color. By seeing on the color variation, we can see gray and white portions. Mostly the dorsal portion is completely having a grayish color, dark grayish color, and lower region. Lower region means that is abdominal region or belly part, which is in whitish color. These are the few points to identify the cutla. And there is a common point for all the three fishes. I have already said cutla, rohu, and mrigala. The common point is the tail fin or caudal fin is completely a bilobed structure. Okay. That means the fin is going to be seen in a V-shaped format at end of the caudal fin. You can see. So that's why we can call it as a bilobed fin. This bilobed fin is going to be observed in both all the three fishes, Katla, Rohu, and Mrigala. Now coming into a Rohu, how it is going to be identified with some characters, identification characters. Here, the body is moderately elongated. If you see Katla, the fish is not going to be elongated structure, which is going to be seen in a somewhat C-shaped format will be we can identify in a Katla. That is bulged or rounded shape will be seen. Not that much smaller portions only. And when coming into a Rohu, you can see it is a long cylinder-like structure. I will show you a screen, right? Then yeah, can you see it, guys? Can you see it? Can you see the screen? Am I audible to you? Yeah, can you see it? Yeah, I hope you can visible the screen. Here, see the row is somewhat elongated structure, long, slender-like structure. It will be there. When comparing with Katla, this row are having a small scales. The Katla fish is having a larger scales, but here the roe is having a smaller scales. But when we are comparing it only, when you visible it in a larger or matured fish of Levirota, if you can see it, and algae from immature or early stage of Katla, if you see it, the both the scales are going to be similar way. How we had to identify is the same age of the Katla and same age of Rohu. If you keep it in the same place, if you can differentiate the scale somewhat, if you clearly visible that which are smaller, which are larger. That is the one point. And when you see that Levirota, the dorsal portion of the Rohu is more arched, which is compared to the lateral. That means dorsal portion is somewhat lowerly condensed to the ventral region. Ventral region means that the down portion of the fish. This is the ventral portion. When you see it upper portion, that is the dorsal side. If you see after the dorsal fin, you can see the somewhat pressed condition you will identify. That is, this portion is called as actually caudal peduncle. This portion is completely compressed. So when you see it in a Katla, the compressed state is not that much when comparing with Rohu here. And if you the snout part, that means the mouth which is present, this is called as the snout region. This note is extended to the front word. Actually, actually in Cutler, this note is completely covered with lips. Larger lips will be there when you see it in Cutler. Here, the lips are present below the snout region. If you can say that snout is like a nose also, but here the nostrils will also present at the upper portion of the snout region. Yes. And when you see it in a lower portion of the snout, you will identify the mouth portions. As there is a special character compared to Katla to the Roho, is these are having a barbels. Now, at a starting point of the mouth, you will identify a Sorry guys, sorry for the disturbance. Small audio problem is there. Okay, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yes, we are discussing about the characteristics of Rohu, right? Actually, the body of the Rohu is somewhat moderately elongated, and snout is going to be present when comparing with all the characters like Katla. And the color of the belly region is uh, whitish portion, and you can see it the almost all the paid fins and dorsal fins are having a reddish portions. By reddish color which are present in fins, those are called as a uh, rohu. At the same time, the body should be a elongated structure. That means somewhat slender-like structure, not that much as cylindrical or bulgy-like structure. Okay. And now look into it about Mrigala. Actually, the Mrigala is going to be seen uh, some characters similar to the uh, Rohu. The one similar character is about Rohu is the fins which are present in Rohu at end of the tips. These reddish portions will be there. But Rohu is having a almost all the fins, almost in the fin portion, complete fin portion is having a red color. But the Mrigala fins are having a red portion at only in a end of the fins. That means tips of the fin. That is a small similar cattle, not that much. If you see the tips of reddish color, then we have to say Mrigala. If we are having the fins are having completely reddish portions, then we have to say the that is a Rohu. That is the one similar. And same like that, Rohu is having a small paired maxillary barbels are there. Mrigala is also having a paired barbels. That is the one similar character. And the Mrigala is having a small, very smaller scales when comparing with Katla. And also a Rohu, the Mrigalas are having a small sized scales. When we see Rohu is having a cycloid scales, which are in a C-shaped, completely a curve-shaped scale, sized scales will be there. But here, the curve shape will appear in a small size, and also the size of the scale is also very small. So that's why when comparing with Rohu and also Katla, the scales of the Mrigala are having a smaller. And another character is about identification character is about the body color. Almost like Katla, the Mrigala is also having a grayish portions, but the belly region, which is present in Mrigala, is going to be seen as a uh, silvery or whitish portion will be identified. Actually, up to now, the Katla and Rohu are completely white, but here the attractive white color will be there. That is a near to or similarly a silvery portion will be identified in a belly region. And body is also appear similar to the Rohu. It is also elongated structure. Here the difference is the Rohu is also elongated and Mrigal is also elongated structure. But the color variation is the most important. These are the factors. And almost now, except belly region and almost all the body color is in grayish color, but only the fin at end of the tips it is having a reddish color. But Rohu is having almost full length of the fin is having a reddish color. But here the tips and the dark grayish color is seen in Katla. As same like that, here Mrigal is also having a dark grayish color, but the belly region is in a silvery. The Katla is having a white portion. These are the identification characters for identifying Katla, Rohu, and Mrigala. Here, uh, we have started a section with identification, but you have to know the body parts which are present in a fish. Actually, the entire body of the fish is divided into three parts: the head, the trunk, and the tail. Actually, the head portion of the fish is having a eyes and a mouth and operculum and gills, which are present in head region. And few of the fishes are also having a barbels, like few catfishes are having a barbels. That means um, long hair like structures will be there. It is the one type of sensor organ. When coming into a trunk region, the entire body is called is completely a trunk region up to the end of the anal fin portion, and starting from the end of the operculum and the end of the anal fin, which is called as the trunk region. This trunk region having scales and lateral line. Lateral line is a sensor organ and which are having a paid fins and unpaid fins, as we are earlier said. Pectoral, I mean, paid fins means pectoral and pelvic, unpaid means dorsal and anal only present in trunk region. But when coming into a caudal fin, which is present in a tail, the tail region starts from the end of the anal fin. After the anal fin, we are having a caudal peduncle. As we said, the compressed portion will be identified in Rohu, same like that in Katla and same also in Mrigala. Almost all the species are having a compressed portion when we are seeing after the dorsal fin or after the anal fin. So that portion is called as a caudal peduncle. Where caudal fin attached, that region is called as a caudal peduncle, which is to identify easily. So these are the body parts which are present in a fishes. As we said, Indian major crops are one variety of freshwater aquaculture species, and the second type variety of species are called as the exotic major crops. Exotic major crops means these are not native to our India. These are actually native to a different countries, and from other countries we are doing a culture in our India. Those species are called as the exotic major crops. Mostly, these exotic major crops are taken from the China. Okay, in that the first major species is about Cyprinus carpio, which is commonly called as a common carp. This common carp is uh, is native to the China, and the identification characters for a Cyprinus carpio is body is oblong structure. That means robust and compressed states were also going to be seen in a body. When we coming into a dorsal region and belly portions, straight to that we will see oblong structure. And when we see it in a caudal peduncle region, there is a compressed condition will be there. So all the and not only in caudal peduncle, when we look into a head region, which is also a compressed state. So that's why entire body is oblonged and like a compressed condition will be seen in Cyprinus scorpio. And this Cyprinus scorpio is having a blunt snout will be there, and the head region is bearing a lips which are in a smooth and a thickish portions are will be there in a Cyprinus scorpio. And this Cyprinus carpo is having a larger scales. When comparing with the Indian major crops, this first Cyprinus carpo is having a larger scales. And when we see it, uh, when coming into body color, uh, up to Indian major crops, we have seen only two different colors. One is white or silver, and second one is a dark grayish color we have identified. But this Cyprinus Scorpio is having a bluish green or dark brownish colors are going to be seen. And not only these colors, you can also identify sometimes olive color is also going to be seen in few of the species. Bluish green or olive green or brownish green is also be seen in a Cyprinus scorpio. And most of the belly region is going to be seen as a white, completely a whitish portion. That is the one type of exotic major crops. And the second type is called as a hypothalamic mollictis. It is a scientific name. And we can call this species as commonly silver carp. Here the name is given a silver carp. It means the entire body of the hypothalamic mollicts is in a silvery color, completely silver color. So that's why this carp is called as a silver carp. Actually, this species is taken from the Japan. Actually, Cyprinus is from China, but here it is taken from the Japan. The hypothalamic mollicts, which is a silver carp. And the most important character is I have said that entire body is covered with silver portion. So that's why it is called as a silver corpse. And body is completely oblonged like a Cyprinus scorpio and somewhat fairly compressed state is going to be seen after the dorsal fin. Compressed states. Only from the dorsal side of the portion is seen as a slant compressed portion. When seeing in a Cyprian Scorpio, both from the dorsal side, both from the ventral side, here we see compressed state. But only in hypothalamic small tricks, here from the dorsal side, it is a compressed. And after the anal fin, here we see a somewhat dorsal conditions. And moreover, the color of the body is going to be much more darker than the fins. Here, the fins are having a light silvery color, but here the body is completely a dark silverish color. That means the dull color is going to be seen on the fins, not entire fin, that end of the fin or base of the fin. We are going to see the dark colors. These are the special character for the silver carp, which is the hypothalamus mollictis. And lost species in exotic major crop is Tenofarrington illa. Actually, which is commonly called as a grass carp, which is native to different countries, not only particular one country. It is native to China uh, and also Japan, but mostly these species are cultured in China, Russia, India, Sri Lanka, and almost USA states are also going to be cultured this grass carp. Here, based on the feeding habitat, here the name is got as the grass carp. Feeding habitat means the food variety which is consumed by the fish are going to be seen three different types, which are nothing but carnivore, herbivore, and omnivore. But here the Tenofarrington is completely a herbivore variety, and particularly this herbivore fish is going to be consume only a grass variety of plants. So that's why here the fish is called as a grass carp. And these are having a, some special characters to identify the grass carp. Here, the belly region of the Tinofarrington idilla is having a silvery color, and the body is having a dark grayish color. Here, in almost all exotic crops, we haven't identified the dark grayish colors. We identified only the color is dark brownish or dark bluish green color or olive color in Cyprinus scarpio. But here the grass carp is having a dark grayish color. But belly region is having a silver color. This is the special characters. And from Cyprinus scarpio, when comparing to Cyprinus scarpio, this grass carp is not having a barbels. Actually, barbels are present in Cyprinus scarpio, but a few of the maxillary barbels are also seen in a silver carp also. But here the completely the barbels are absent. And the body of the Tinofarrington idilla is elongated, oblonged, and somewhat compressed state as seen in anal fin at the end of the anal fin. But mostly the body is elongated. Up to now, the Cyprian Scorpio and from Silver Carp, we have identified the elongated structure. They're completely oblonged and compressed states only. But here the Tina Farrington idilla is elongated and few only very little bit on the belly region. We can see oblonged condition. At end of the anal fin, we can see the compressed states. These are the special characters in identifying the Tinofarrington idilla. So, and also that the lips which are present in Tinofarrington idilla are thick, and we can also see it in a simple structures only, but those are very, very thick. These are the six major crops most widely cultured in freshwaters. Here, we we got the information about the cultured species which are mostly cultured, and most of the states of India and also from the another countries, these are the very, very important species in growing of freshwater agriculture. Here I want to know the which are natural resources of freshwaters. Is anyone resources are there for growing of freshwater aquaculture? What are the sources? Can you say anyone? Where we can identify the freshwater bodies in India, from where we are getting the freshwater sources? Anyone? Let's guess it. If you don't know, I will give you the answer. Anyone? Chanchal Krishna. Yes, rivers, lakes. These are all the freshwater bodies only. Rivers, lakes, canals, some of the streams, reservoirs. You can also see the freshwater bodies. And there are some uh, freshwater regions in Himalayas and Alage Peninsula river systems, which are in northern states of India. We are having a cold water bodies. Okay, the cold water bodies are also having a freshwater state also. So in that water also we can do a culture. That culture is called as a cold water fish culture. And when we are doing a culture in a river, that is called as the river culture. When we are doing a culture in lake, that is called as the lake culture. When we are doing a reservoir, it is called as the reservoir culture. Is that culture is possible in river, lake, reservoirs, and we discussed about the cold waters. Yes, is all the sources resources are providing aquaculture. Actually, in ancient times, the culture is going to be seen on the shores or where there is a low depth regions in river or lake or in reservoir. You can see the views wide of cultures, like how they have did a culture. Actually, you have heard the sound, I think, a case culture or pen culture. If you didn't, I will give a short note on it. Here, the case culture is nothing but completely the case is constructed with bamboos or stainless steel materials, which is unrustable materials, which are there. With those materials, the case is going to be constructed. Here, the case is having a different shapes, which are going. You can construct in a square. You can construct in a rectangular. You can also construct in hexagonal. You can also construct in octa also. That means eight-sided shape also you can do it. But here the thing is in any of these shapes, there should be a two portions for the two attachments. Those two attachments are nothing but floaters and sinkers. Floaters means the material of case is have to be float on the water. With that uh, floating condition, we have to attach a floaters on top of the cage. I will say the advantage of this floaters. And there is another point we have discussed about the sinkers. Here, the sinkers are have to be attached at bottom region of the bottom condition of the cage. You have to attach in bottom region only. These sinkers. How the floaters material? You can use it as a large plastic materials like drums, वगैरह things. We can also use thermocols. Thermocol material is also going to be float the cage. Here, the float when we place the floater on top of the cage, we can easily identify where the cage is placed in a river. In which portion of the river we have placed the cage. If we place it today, tomorrow we can sense it or we cannot sense it. By seeing of floaters, all the materials which are placed on top, we can easily identify that. And the second thing is sinkers. Without placing of sinkers, the cage is not going to be seen in a stable or a sticky condition. When the water is flowing continuously with the help of the floaters, the cage is movable from one place to another place. So, to place it in a one portion and if any of the critical situation, the case should not be moved from that place. So, to give that condition, we have to place the sinkers. Here, the sinker material, how it will be, how we have to identify the sinker. It is nothing but which is having a large weight or heavy weight materials like 1,000 kg stones or more than heavy weight. We can also place it rocks. Okay, and also you can also use the ties of the truck tires, all the materials we can use it as a sinkers. But there is a connection material from sinker to the case is also very much important. The material which are using for connecting the sinker and also the case from the bottom is very much important. That should be in a strongest material. You can also use a thread material, threads, which is made with nylon or plastic, वगैरह things. We can use it. It should be in a strongest way. The cages are going to be used in a river, lake, or reservoir, or in also cold water also. So the cage is placed where there is a low depth region. You can do it a culture there. Like that, these freshwater resources are utilized in ancient times. And also the case is firstly invented case is not used as a case culture. The case is used as a transport. Actually, the in ancient times or in olden days, the fish is transported or aquatic organisms are transported in water in live condition through the cages. So at that time, these are most widely popular, and later the research institutes have also identified that not only these are useful for transport, we can also use it as a culture. That is called as a case culture. At present, it is most wide popular culture. Not only in freshwater, we can also use this case in marine water also, like in the seashores. Okay. You can also practice in the salt waters also. You can also practice in the brackish water also. This is not a complete suitable to particular water. It is suitable in all the water where the aquaculture is possible. Same like that, there is another type of culture we can use it mostly in freshwater. Here it is a pen culture. How the pen infrastructure is going to be seen. I will imagine, I will discuss it in words. You have to imagine it. Then only you can easily understand. If there is a river, it is flowing from left to right direction. Okay, there is a river which is having a depth of up to a 4 feet or 5 feet like that. Okay, 4 feet or 5 feet depth of river is flowing from left to right direction. Okay, it is having a two dikes in opposite portions where water is completely flowing. That is the depth, and at end of the flow of each sides is the two dikes. And here, where the water is flowing from left to right, which is suitable to walk for me in 4 feet. At that area, I have blocked the uh, way of the aquatic species. That is, with the help of bamboo sticks, I have placed the barriers. Here, through the bamboo poles, the water is gently flow. Not completely, the water is not going to stop the bamboo poles. It will flow as per the speed. The flow of water is continuously seen. But here the thing is, the objects or small type of fishes, not small, that much of small, large sized fishes are going to be stopped at the bamboo sticks. Small microscopic organisms are going to be entering in that bamboo sticks. Same like this, I have constructed an opposite portion of the river. That means I have constructed it left side only, and I have did also same in the right side. Here, two sides of the river, I have constructed the bamboo poles, which in a strongest. With any flow of water or any object cannot pull the bamboo poles. They are in a stable condition. But here the thing is water is not stopped. Okay. And there are two sides of the river are having the dikes, which are muddy. Okay. Whatever the things the resources have, source is having. Maybe those are in a rocky condition, or maybe those are in a sandy, or those are in a muddy. But I have did a somewhat precautions for the delicate dikes. I have placed a sandy bags there. Where any flood is getting, the dike should not be breakable. So to avoid that such condition, I have placed the strongest materials. So all the four sides are in a strongest way. In the middle of that portion, I have placed the fishes. Okay, I have said earlier the most suitable species, IMC and EMC, that means Indian major crops and exotic major crops. Any of one variety I have placed. Here, the thing is when I placed the cutla, the according to the flow of water from left to right direction, the cutla fishes are going to move from right to left. Where there is a flow of water in opposite direction, the fish will be moved. That is all we know that. So it can move it, but it cannot cross the bamboo poles. Why? Because As per the size of the species I am stocking, I have constructed congestionally the bamboo poles. So due to that, it cannot escape from it. But when I'm doing a culture, definitely the fish has to be fed with any type of food. Here, I'm not going to supply any additional feeds. When water is flowing, along with that water, there are going to get, I have said, microscopic organisms only will enter, and also a very small sized animals are going to be enter in that water from through the poles, bamboo poles. So due to that, with the small sized aquatic organisms are going to be consumed by the cutla, and there are microscopic organisms, particularly planktons type of food, phytoplankton and zooplanktons are going to consumed by the cutla fishes. Like this, the entire culture is going to be seen. This is called as the pen culture. Here, I did have constructed any pond by using by digging of soil, and also I have didn't place any cases here. Just I have did a uh, artificial dikes which are which I have placed in a flow of water in a left portion one side and also in right portion. Here I am not stopping any water. Just I'm stopping the objects which do not enter, which do not cross from the poles, and it is going to stop the fishes. The fishes, large sized fishes means that those are nothing but a predatory fishes. The large fishes, when it enter, our cutla is going to be consumed by that large fish. So to avoid all the things, I'm just stopping the objects and అలాగే large sized fishes. So due to that, entire culture is going to be seen in a healthy way. Same like that in case when I have placed in any of the river or in any of the lake or in any of the reservoir where there is a low depth, then here it is also I'm not going to provide any artificial feed. That means the pellet feed which is going to be seen in outer aquaculture regions. Maybe in those are in pellet, those are maybe in a ball shaped based on the species. For shrimps, you are going to see the pellet type, and few of the fin fishes, you can see them as a ball shaped, which are in two conditions also. Based on the condition, we can say it as a surface feeding. We can also say it in a bottom feeding also. That is called as a sinking feed. When we distribute a feed to the pond, when it flows on surface, that is called as a surface feeding. When it sinks to the bottom, that is called as a sinking feeding. Here, here those type of feeds I'm not going to give in a case culture also. Only from the water, the microscopic organisms or small sized organisms has to be consumed by the stockings only. What I have stocked, maybe that is Katla, Rohum, Regal, based on the farmer. Okay, these in this way, the case culture and pen cultures are going to be seen. These are the major sources. At the same time, not only for growing of natural resources only, by using of these sources, river water or lake water or reservoir water, with this water, we have to do it in a culture in our ponds. Here, how this culture in freshwater aquaculture, the culture, how it is going to be started. Actually, this freshwater aquaculture is going to be start in a particular pond that is a breeding pond. The first pond which has to be seen that is a breeding pond. We had to collect it breeders from the natural resources, in particularly in monsoon seasons. In monsoon season, the breeders are going to be seen and used by the way based on our catchment, what we are catching in particular resource, river, canal, stream, vagera, etc. So, in that resources, the variety of fish which we're getting a wide range of both the male or female, already fertilized female is also advantageous for us. We here we cannot do any mating process in our breeding tank. If already carrying a eggs, okay, that is 50% of work is our portion is completed. Uh, in ancient time, they used to get only a female brooder only. So the most collection of the female brooder is done by the uh, netting, and through that netting, the collection is going to be placed in a breeding tank. After a few hours of time period or a few days of time period, we can see the offsprings on the tank. Here, the breeding tank is having a one condition, that is before stocking on the breeders, the tank or uh, the tank bottom should be placed with a mosquito net or a small diameter netting, which is going to be suitable only for collection of the microscopic eggs. Okay, which is larger sized net is not suitable to place in a breeding pond at bottom condition. The net is only suitable for collection of the spawn. That means the female which is giving a eggs, those eggs have to be only collected. And these eggs are going to be fertilized with the milt, which is getting from the male fish. So these eggs and milt, when we get attached, here we can see the fertilization. After a few hours of time period, the fertilization will complete in the same portion. After few hours, we can see it as the offsprings. Now we have to take off these offsprings from the breeding tank. Here, these offsprings are going to be collected, which we are placing the bottom net. Through that lifting of net, we can see the offsprings, and these offsprings are going to be placed in a hopper. That hopper is called as a hatching hopper. This is this hopper is placed at a one portion of the tank. That means any of the corner of the tank we have to place it as a hopper, which is having a double layered netting, which is having 1 mm diameter, which is surrounded by all the sides of the tank and bottom region. Due to that, the hatchling should not escape from that hopper. At the same time, any of the aquatic organism which is going to be consuming the hatchlings, that predatory animals or predatory fishes should not be come into that hopper. So that in that way we had to construct in a double layered in all the four sides and also a bottom condition. Then after we have to place the hatchlings. For only in this hopper we have to culture only for 3 to 5 days. Minimum duration is 2 to 3 days. Maximum duration is 3 to 5 days. After that duration of time period, here in this period, we should not give any artificial feed and should not give any plankton type of food also. Here completely it is going to be the hatchlings are going to be nourished or they're going to grow with the help of the oak. After when it coming from the egg, the offspring is going to carry the oak on their intestinal tract. With that oak substance, the offspring is going to be nourished. Due to that, in that condition also, the fish is not having a complete digestive tract. In that situation, if we are giving any type of feed, the food is going to be blocked the entire gut. The intestine will going to be damaged. The offspring will die. So to avoid the killings of the offsprings, we should not give any type of natural food, and also we should not give any artificial feed. After this time period, we have to place them in a nursery pond. Sorry, yes, we have to place them in a nursery pond. Here, the we collected the breeder, that is the female one, which is carrying the eggs. At the same time, few of the in olden days, few of the farmers have also collect the males also. Uh, in some situations, the male will release the gamete, and these eggs are going to be fertilized by the milt. That is fish sperm. We can call it as the milt. We cannot call here the sound as a sperm. So the male gametes of the fish are called as a milt. So in few of the situations, the milt is not going to be get from the male one. Here we have to do alternately. We have to collect from one of the male fish. Though from that male fish, we have to collect it as a milt, so that here the collection of milt is going to be done from the alternate, and we have to stock it in a particular portion. And there is a temperature there, that process is called as a cryopreservation. We have to store it in a liquid nitrogen at minus 90 degrees Celsius temperature will be there. That is the one type of another topic. But in olden days there is no that much of technology. But even though uh, already the male fishes are going to be stocked in one type of pond, when we are getting the female breeder fish, the males are going to be stocked in that along with the females. Then after that, when female is releasing the eggs, the male before or after some time, the milt is going to be attached that eggs. Due to that, here the fertilization is going to be carried. This is the process actually. Present coming into scenario, here the breeders are going to be collected in a natural resources or from the cultured tank. Cultured tank means when farmer is going to grow the example, when farmer is stocking a cutla fish, when it is having 100 grams, one of the farmer is going to grow up to a 350 or 450 grams or maximum up to 500 grams. Then after this, these fish are going to be grown by the another farmer from 500 to 750 or 1 kg. When the fish is getting a 1 kg, the fish is simultaneously having a maturity. So definitely the mature fish is going to be participate in a breeding. These 1 kg fish is going to be stocked in a breeding tank. Okay, like both the male and also a female. When it is getting a one more than 1.5 year age means the fish is having a 1 kg of weight. So definitely the 1 kg of weight weighing fish or male and female are going to participate in a fertilization or in a breeding. So like that, uh, that much of 1 kg of weight of fishes are going to be collected by the hatcheries, and in the hatchery, male and females are stocked in a 2:1 ratio. For every female, two males are going to be stocked. Clear. So due to that, here the fishes are going to be stocked and fertilized. Same thing after fertilization carrying from the bottom net which is placed by the hatcheryman, that person will lift the netting, and here we can get as the fertilized eggs, and these fertilized eggs are kept in a hatching hopper for 3 to 5 days after hatching, and also offsprings will get in the same hopper only. After 3 to 4 days of time, 3 to 5 days of time period, we have to transfer it in a nursery. Here, the culture of main, the culture is going to be start here. In this nursery pond, here we are going to develop the larvae from hatchlings to a fry stage. Hatchlings to a fry stage means hatchling means newly born fish is called as the offspring. That is called as the hatchling. So from that stage to up to when the offspring is going to get a uh, 2.5 to 5 centimeters. Remember again, 2.5 to 5 centimeters. Then we have to call it as a first larval stage of the species called as a fry. We are going to see in the fry stage at when it is reaching 2.5 centimeters. Maximum we can see up to a 5 centimeters. Here, how much time duration will get, how much time is required to get to 2.5 centimeters. After stocking of hatchlings in nursery pond, within a 20 to 25 days of time period, maximum of 25 days. Minimum is duration is 15 days. 15 to 25 days of time period. We can see 2.5 centimeters of length, and we can see also a maximum length up to a 5 centimeters. Minimum 2.5, maximum 5 centimeters. This entire culture is going to be seen in a nursery pond. Here in this nursery pond, we should not give any additional feed. We have to give only a natural food only. Before stocking the hatchlings in a nursery pond, we have to fertilize the pond. The how much content we are going to be fertilize the pond in a stocking pond, that is in our farmer scenario. For 1 hectare, they're going to place 10,000 kgs or 5,000 kgs of amount of organic material of cow dung or poultry dung, whatever things. Along with that, there is a some amount of additional contents are also there. But here the same process we can do it here. But actual thing what we are doing in a stocking pond, in that 50% of the content only we have to do it in a nursery pond to avoid the stress conditions, to avoid the over production of the plankton is also going to be affect our hatchlings. Thing here in early offspring, it is going to be nourished the oak sac. We have already said after 5 days of time period, it is going to be consumed on microscopic plants in a limited composition. That is a freshly developed gut. It takes some time period to digest the food material which is going to be taken by the offspring. So here overfeeding is going to be damage the digestive system. So that's why here the plankton should be present. That's also in a limited composition. When it is in a heavier condition, when the fish is continuously taking the planktons, the digestive system is going to be affected. So that's why here we have to fertilize the pond in a very limited composition. Here we have to see only a plankton, not much that more use content of planktons are also going to be damage the gut of the fish. So here actually the for 1 hectare of the nursery pond is going to be fertilized with a composition of organic fertilizers. The composition of only 1,000 kgs is enough. Actually, in stocking pond, we had to need more than 5 kgs. But here we had to do it only with 1 kg. That is the enough. So with that, before stocking of 10 to 15 days of time period, we had to do it fertilization. Then after that, we had to stock the hatchlings, and we had to grow up to a 25 days of time period. Then we are getting a 5 centimeters, 2.5 to 5 centimeters. We have to call it as a fry. In this time period, it is going to be fed only with planktons. When the gut is developed, the offspring is going to be definitely feed on the planktons only. Here, we should not give any additional type of feed. Now, you see, after this nursery pond, after getting a fry, we have to shift this stocking to a another pond. That pond is called as the rearing pond. Here, this rearing pond is stocked with fry, and we have to harvest when it getting a second larval stage, that is called as the fingerling. When we have to identify the fish as reached to a fingerling, means the fingerling measurements are nothing but 7.5 to 12.5 centimeters. 7.5 to 12.5 centimeters. When it is reaching, this is called as the fingerling. From fry of 5 centimeters, maximum to minimum of 2.5, maximum 5 centimeters. From 5 to fingerling, it requires 2 to 3 months of time period. It requires 2 to 3 months of time period. In this time period, we have to feed with not only a natural feed, we have to feed with alternative feed, that is supplementary feed. Here, what we are giving the additional feed, that feed should contain only a single ingredient. That means rice bran, or groundnut cake, groundnut oil cake, or वगैरह things. Here we should not give any two combinations of feed. We have to give only a either rice bran or groundnut oil cake. We should not give the both the feeds. Okay, remember the thing. And also we should not give any 1:1 ratio is also not suitable for the nasty pond. We had to mostly depend on the single feed only, along with the natural feed. Same time, before stocking of the fry, we had to fertilize the pond with here high organic content. When comparing with the nasty pond, we had to fertilize with 5,000 kgs per hectare. 5,000 kgs per hectare. Here it is required for fertilizing the pond. After fertilization, we had to stock the fly, and during the middle of the culture, we had to start the during middle of the culture, we had to start the additional feeding. That is the single feed ingredient. That means almost stocking after 1 month of time period. After 30 days, we had to start the additional feeding. And after when it is reaching 7.5 centimeters, we can do a harvest. Here the this process is going to be done entirely in only in a rearing pond. Now coming into after reaching of 7.5 or 12, sorry, yes, 7.5 or 12.5 centimeters, we had to do it in a another type of pond that is called as a stocking pond. We can also call it as a growth pond. We can also call it as a cultured pond. We can also call it as a liner pond also. You can see what is the difference, what is the liner pond. Actually, present nowadays, most of the farmers are placing the uh, tarpaulin sheets on the bottom condition. There is no contact between the water and soil. There is a barrier, thin layer of plastic sheet or tarpaulin sheet is placing in a pond. That pond is called as the liner pond or lined pond. Okay. We can also grow it on the liner pond. We can also grow it in a Athran pond that is completely made with sand, which is having a contact to water and soil. So these ponds are having a different names: liner, Athran, culture, or growth pond. These are the different names. In this pond, we have to do it in a huge amount of practice in this. That means we have to take a precautions from pond construction to the harvesting, up to a harvesting. Here, we have to construct the pond in any of the shape, not only a square, not only rectangle. We can do it in a circular shape also. You can do it in a different shape. But here the thing is, the pond should contain the inlet and outlet, and there is a depth range should be also. In bottom of the pond, we have to be place a 2:1 ratio slope from inlet to outlet. Here the point have to be remembered by the farmer. That means where there is the inlet, the pond depth has to be in a highest way. That means the slope should be in a high. And when coming to the outlet, here the slope should be in a lower region. That means very, very low. That means that when we're uh, draining out of water from the pond, the water usually get easily drained out. If the slope is not constructed, the most of the water is going to be placed in a bottom only. So it takes huge amount of time period to dry the pond. So that's why we had to construct the sloping manner. And second thing, after construction of the slope, we had to remember the dikes, how much they are harder, and is there any uh, contact between the one pond to another pond. That means if the dikes are delicate, if the snake is going to move from one pond to another pond, not only snake, any of the vertebrate animal is going to be transferred from one pond to another pond. Due to that, the water going to be contacted from one pond to another pond. And there is also, if one pond is affected with this diseases and alternate simultaneously, another pond is also going to be attacked. So we have to remember that dikes are going to be in a stronger or any delicate. Uh, is there any um, vertebrate animals are placing any damage to the dikes? We have to identify all the things before starting the culture. And after doing of the dikes, and we have to see the surroundings environment of the dike, which are going to be have a huge amount of aquatic plants or any of other uh, plants which are going to be uh, placed as the habitat to the variety of insects or vertebrate animals. These are called as, this is also one of the defect for causing of our our pond. Here, the thing is when plants are present on the dikes, entire dike. Here, the thing is easily there is a native place to the huge amount of mosquitoes and huge amount of flies. And when there is a flies and mosquitoes are there, definitely we are going to see the frogs and the snakes also. And same like that here, there is a food chain will be present if from the small micro or macroscopic organism too. So when we are cutting off the plants, here we cannot see the insects. And if you cannot see the insects, we cannot see the frogs. We cannot see the frogs, then snakes are also going to be not identified. So we have to identify the predation, which of all these any of the organism, these are going to be placed as the transmitters of diseases from one pond to another pond. These flies are not going to be placed in one pond. These are going to be surround one place to another place, one pond to another pond, and they can also place a eggs on the surface of the water also. And here, when there is the insects, we can see the frogs, and these are also going to be seen in one pond from the another pond. If one pond is affected, and again and alternately another pond is going to be affected by these uh, organisms. So we had to clear the our surrounding environment of our dike should be in a hygienic way. After construction of the pond, we had to add a liming to our pond. Why? Because why it means why the pond should be limed before starting the culture. We have said that there are microscopic organisms will there and also vertebrate animals will be there. And we are digging the soil. There is a huge amount of moist content will be there, and there will be a low amount or high amount of bacteria will be there. And these organisms of larval forms are also will be going to be seen in a moist content. So all these are going to be seen as a minute thing at present. But when we're doing in a culture, if we left without doing a lime, then after these are going to be grow in a larger way, and our pond is affected by these all organisms. And before only if you do a liming, all these organisms, bacteria are also going to be die. So to remove all the debris of the bottom, the simple thing should be limed, and we have to leave it for 7 to 10 days of time period. And when it is limed, the lightning of the sun should be in a high temperature. Then only it will be very huge way. It gives a huge amount of effect on the bottom condition for killing of microscopic to macroscopic organisms. So after drying along with the liming conditions, the pond is completely prevented with microscopic organisms and larval forms of the organisms. And when it is limed, the bottom condition should be cleaned because in that lime there is a small amount of chemical compounds will be there. Those will going to be affect our aquatic organisms in during of culture. So to avoid that, We had to stock the fresh water in a 25% of the water has to be filled, and that what the water we have filled in the pond, that is completely has to be drained out, and it is going to be drained for 4 to 5 days, 4 to 7 days, and have to be refilled with fresh water. And here the thing is we have to do the fertilization. Here, how much of organic material is used for fertilization? That gives a huge amount to the stockings, which are how much of amount we are stocking. Those are going to get a natural feed in a used way. So here we have to fertilize organic matter for 1 hectare. It should be contain a minimum of composition 10,000 kgs. You can place it any of the organic matter, cow, poultry, duck, goat, sheep, pig, what it may be, any of the organic material which is excreted from the animals or plants, what it may be. So these organic matter should not be in a huge amount of wet content. They should not be in a huge amount of wet content. They have to be in a moist only. The organic matter should be in a moist, but it should not be in a liquid condition. It has to be stored for a few months of time period. It turns into a dried state, and in middle of the organic matter we can see the moist content. These amount of organic material are going to be utilized as a nutrients for growing of phytoplanktons. At the same time, nutrient levels to the organisms which are going to be grown in our pond. Not only fish, we can also do it in same thing in a shrimp also. But here the thing is the content of the organic matter. It should not be in a completely liquid or high amount of moist content should not be present. Should be in a limited or very low of moist is better for doing a organic fertilization. Here, when we're doing with 10,000 kgs of organic matter, we had to thoroughly mix this organic matter in the entire pond. Here, there are basically at present scenario, we can see the fertilization process also. Here, the fertilization is going to be seen with one branch of the plant is going to be cut by the farmer, branch. One branch of the plant is going to be cut by the farmer, and two or three people are going to be move the branch from entire pond. Due to that, what we are placing the organic matter in that pond, that organic matter is going to be distributed in entire water molecules and also bottom condition. And after moving on that pond for particular 1 round or 2 rounds, then the branch and the people are going to be come out of the pond. And later, after 15 days of time period, we can see the high amount or high density of planktons will be there. Clear. After 15 days of time period, this is the best time to stock the species. What we are going to stock. For example, we have discussed about the fishes. That means Cutler, Rohu, Mrigala, Cyprinus scarpio, Tino, Farrington, Idella, and the hypothalamic molluscs. In any of the species, one single species, we can stock it here, and group of species also we can stock it here. I will discuss the topic based on number of species. Here, the aquaculture is going to be in a different phase. We will discuss in next section. But today's section is about to complete discussion about the pond culture. That is a culture pond or growth pond, how the culture is going to be seen. Now, after fertilization, we have to stock the species which we harvested from the rearing pond. What we have harvested in rearing pond, we have harvested fingerlings, which are having a centimeters of minimum 7.5, maximum of 12.5 centimeters. Here, in stocking pond, all the species should be in on an average, 10 centimeters of length should be present. Then these are going to be placed in a stocking pond and growth pond. For 1 hectare,
For 1 hectare, we have to stock 10,000 species. We have to stock 10,000 species. Then, after stocking of the species, from second day onwards, we have to supply the supplementary feed based on their biomass, based on their weight, how the feed is going to be distributed. The weight of those species which is having, it is to be calculated with help of 20, 15 to 25 percentage of the body weight. 15 to 20% of the body weight, each and every individual, we had to place the feed in daily once. Only daily once is enough for second day onwards. It has to be carried up to a 20 days. Sorry, it has to be carried up to a 15 days only. After 15 days of time period, we have to again measure the biomass of the species, and then after, based on the weight of the body, 10 to 20% of the body weight, we have to give the additional feeding. Here the thing is, not only once in a day, we have to feed twice in a day, same in the morning and also in the evening, or keep it in a two regular intervals. Based on that, we have to give the feeding. What the feed we want to give, that has to be split into two types, two halves, and first half is given in morning section and second half is going to be given in a afternoon section. So in this way, the entire culture is going to be seen up to a 2 months. After crossing of 2 months, we have to give the feeding in a daily 3 to 4 times. This is the feeding type. And the entire culture of this fingerlings are going to be grown up to a marketable size. Here, the culture time period is going to be taken up to a 10 months to 1 year, because we are stocking 10 centimeters of length of species only, and we have to get up to a marketable size. Here, the marketable size is going to be seen as a 750 grams minimum, and maximum we are going to get up to a 1 kg. And minimum 750 grams from 10 centimeters length is going to be taken up to a 10 to months to 12 months of time period. That's why at present scenario, each and every farmer is not going to be done for 1 year of culture. They're going to culture up to a 3 to 4 months or 4 to 6 months of time duration only. Simply, if one of the farmer is going to be stock at 100 grams of weight, that is nothing but 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters of length is having, and it is growing up to a 350 grams or 500 grams. Then after that, farmer is going to be harvest and it is going to be marketed, and these pieces are going to be buyed by the another farmer, and these are going for up to again 4 months to 6 months of duration, and farmer is going to get 750 grams to 1 kg of weight. This is the present scenario. And if you see the pond which is done by the first farmer is the same, and also second farmer is also the same. That pond is called as a stocking pond. Clear? So that's why I'm saying in stocking pond, we have to do it from fingerling to the marketable size. That marketable size is from 750 to 1 kg of weight. It takes up to a 10 months to a 12 months of time. That is nearly a 1 year. In during this culture, we have to do a small precautions. When we are starting off or before stocking of the species, we have to do a two important parameters, two important uh, works. That is removing of aquatic weeds and removing of predatory fishes. Removing of aquatic weeds, that gives the huge amount of survival rate to our fish. Aquatic weeds means when we grow in higher density of aquatic plants, the fishes are not going to get a sunlight. Fishes are not going to get a space to move from one place to another place. And when it is not having, the survival rate will fall. When survival rate is fall, the nutrition is going not also not going to be done by the fish, and the fish is going to be have a low weight and end of the harvest. So we had to remove the aquatic weeds, which are in a three different types. First one physical way, second one chemical, third one biological. In physical way, the aquatic weeds are going to be removed with mans or with the help of equipments. By placing of ladders, they're going to be pull the weeds with ants or with some other equipments. The weeds are going to be removed. And the chemical type is by spraying of variety of weed based on the variety of aquatic weed. We have to spray the chemicals on the plants, on surface of the plants. So due to that, after few days, the weeds are going to be killed. There is another type, third type, that is nothing but biological method. Here we should not use any labors and we should not spray any chemicals. Without any using of all this, the aquatic weeds has to be removed. Here, based on the weed type, we have to place the species, and the species are going to be consumed that aquatic weed. And here the two benefits will be there. The pond is cleaned with weeds at the same time. By consuming of this weed, the body of the weight of the fish is going to be get a more weight. Here the thing, example I will say. We have already discussed one of the carp, that is the Tino farringtonidella, commonly called as a grass carp. This grass carp is going to be consume the all variety of aquatic weeds. So when you are placing the grass carp where there is a aquatic weeds, and these are going to be consumed by the grass carps, and after a few days of time period, the grass carp is going to be having a more weight when comparing with what we in which weight we have stocked, and we are doing a harvest. There is a definitely a weight differences are will be there. This is the best method for removing of aquatic weeds. And there is another type, that is nothing but predatory fishes. We have to be removed predators. How the fishes, how the tank is going to be get a predator fishes. When we are leaving the water for a few months after harvest, here the water is going to be placed for a few months after harvest. Definitely here there will be a some vertebrate and invertebrate animals will be there, and in that few of the species are going to be consume our stocking. That means our cultured fish species which are placing in the pond, those are consumed by the aquatic predatory animals. So these has to be removed only with the help of a chemical method. And there is also a physical method is also there. Physical method is nothing but by placing of netting, we can remove all the predatory and unwanted fishes or predatory vertebrates or predatory fishes, any of the thing. All the materials are going to be done by the netting. This is the physical way. And the second thing is by spraying of chemicals. Chemicals means you can use mahua oil cake is the best method. We have to place the mahua oil cake when we are placing after a few days of time period. Entire predator fishes or any of vertebrate animals are going to be die. We should not spray this medicine when we are doing a culture. Before doing starting of the culture, then only we have to spray this chemical to avoid the stress conditions and also to avoid the survival rate of the our cultured species. So before doing of culture, this has to be identified and has to be sprayed before only, not in during of the culture. And this moho oil cake is one of the best example, which is used for killing of not only predatory animals. We can also it can also kill the aquatic weeds also. Both the conditions is going to be killed by the one chemical. This is the one thing. And there are rest of the chemicals are also there. Okay. So we had to do a few precautions in this. And middle of the culture or starting of the culture. We have stocked and we are giving a feeding in daily ration is going well, but the farmer is having a one doubt whether the fish is going to consuming the entire food or not, whether it is utilizing or not. Here, two different functions are going to be plays a key role in getting of feed consumption and feed utilization. Feed consumption is going to be done in a fish tank. When we are doing a culture of fish, we have to identify whether the fish is taking a food or not by the method of scooping. That means when the method which we are giving to the tank, which is a hand method, which is a tray method. For example, I am doing a culture of katla katla. I have to distribute in a pond with a by throwing of feed to the pond. So we had to remember the feed, the zone we had to be identified. We had to place an indication from dike to the few distance to the tank inner side. So near to the dike is the best thing, and that too we had to decide it only a few portion, four identical places or two identical places or three identical places. More than four is also going to be unestimate the whether food is going to be consumed by the fishes or not. So four sites or maximum four sides is best thing. So, with the help of the four corners, I have placed the food, and after a particular time period, I have went into that place with the help of scooping. That means scooping means a large stick will be there, and end of the stick there will be a plate-like structure so that I can dig the soil and I can set the bottom condition. Based on that scooping, I can identify whether the feed is going to be left or whether his feed is going to be consumed. If feed is consumed, we can sense it only a mud. If feed is not consumed, we can sense it the feed is going to be left. We can also pull it out and we can look onto the condition. We are getting only a mud, that means feed completed. If we are getting the feed particles, that means food is left. So this is the one type of uh, function, one type of parameter for identifying the food. And whether the fish is utilizing the food or not, that means definitely we have to weigh the fish only. This is the only one thing we can identify whether the fish is utilizing the food or not. Not only the fish, any of the aquatic organisms we are going, that the thing is we have to measure frequently for every at least for every 15 days of time period, the thing, the fish is going to be seen uh, growth, which is having a slow growth or faster growth or moderate growth, how the food is utilizing. All the things are going to be get by the technically, we can get a information about the species. This is the parameters for growing of entire culture. After this culture, end of the culture, where we got the 750 grams of weight. So in each and every tank, we have to do a harvest. I have forgot to say, when we are doing a culture in a nursery pond, we have to harvest in a early morning only. And these nursery ponds are not transported for a long duration of time period. That has to be transported in a shortest distance only. Based on that condition, we have to transfer from nursery pond to a rearing pond. Same like that here in rearing pond, the fingerlings are harvested in early morning, and before harvesting, we have to stop the feed before the 12 hours of time period, or at least 6 hours of time period is enough. And before 6 hours of time period, when we stop the food, then we can harvest it. And after harvesting, we can transport from longest duration of up to a 10 to 12 hours of time period only. After 12 hours, we are getting a low mortality rate and the survival rate is also going to be decreased. Based on the packing conditions also, the survival rate will be there. That is the another precautions. So, moreover, the maximum 12 hours is the maximum time period for transporting of fingerlings. And we had to shift it in a stocking pond. For each and every method of stocking, there should be, we have to do it as a acclimatization is very, very important. Whether we are stocking in a nursery pond, rearing pond, or in a growing pond or stocking pond. Here, how to do a acclimatization. That means we have to adapt the species to a particular water for doing a 15 to 30 minutes of time period. We have to mix the water quantity. Actually, we are going to do the packing with low amount of water. So that water is mixed with our pond water thoroughly, slowly, gently for repeated times up to a 15 to 30 minutes. And after a minimum of 15 minutes, we have to place it in our entire pond in a slowest way. So this process is going to be treated as a acclimatization. That means adaptation to the particular pond water is called as a acclimatization. So in doing of harvest in stocking pond, we have to stop the feeding, first parameter, first point. And the second point is when we want to do a harvest, we have to remove the 50% of the water which is present in a stocking pond. And after removing of water, we have to use the two different types of nets. One is a cast net and another one is a drag net. Cast net is like from surrounding of the dike, any of the dike, we can throw our net and we can catch our harvest. And with the help of dragnet from one place to another place, we have to drag the net and we have to collect the most of the fish harvest is going to be collected in a dragnet, and leftover species are going to be harvested with the casting net. And this harvest is going to be done not only in a early morning, we can also do it in a evening time period also, to avoid the duplication and to avoid the oxygen levels and to avoid the DO levels. All the conditions you can use it. Here the thing is. Okay. So these are the characters for growing of culture here. Okay. Have you understood Chanchal and Ashwant? Have you got the section is in a good way? Having any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, we will discuss tomorrow on regarding of number of species uh, based on number of species, the cultures are going to be in a different ways. Actually, you already know, you have already heard, I think, that is a monoculture and a polyculture. There is a differentiation between the mono and poly and how these cultures are going to be practiced. And we will discuss in tomorrow section in the same duration, 5 to 7. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can leave the section. We will discuss in tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.